Teachers like to put assessments from Benchmark, MyMath, and other sources on the skies. Grading, however, can still take a while to do, because even with Mass Grader, you still need to click through each sheet one at a time and carefully check to see what students got right and what they got wrong. Now, there is a system that makes it much faster. Introducing the new Worksheet Grader in Sky's Mass Grader. Just click Worksheet Grader, and what Skies is going to do is it's going to pull together all of the student responses and pile them together into one sheet so you can see everything at once. Look, if I want to see how students did on question number 1, all I have to do is draw a little rectangle around where the students have put their answer. And what we see is everyone got the question correct. See, Skies groups similar responses together, so you see everyone put in the word hike. You can even go ahead and click this button to see what the original response was, but Skies is very reliable about grouping things together it knows are the same, so you can usually not click that. Just go ahead and click yes, check, and then move on to the next region. Again, it looks like everyone got it correct, so say all correct. Move on to the next region. Again, all correct. Now there is a shortcut. If you don't want to draw all of these boxes by hand, what you can do is click this thing that says make regions automatically, and Skies will try to figure out what regions it should be grading. So click, say all okay, click the next region, say all okay. There's even a shortcut on top of that. You can click tab or shift tab to go between regions and grade. So tab, all correct, all correct, all correct, all correct, all correct, all correct, all correct. Wow, this class did great. Everyone got the correct answers for every question. Now, it's not usually this easy. Let's try something slightly harder. So we go back. Let's go to the My Math worksheet. Click Worksheet Grader. And what we're going to see is more of a diversity of responses. So again, we could just do make regions automatically. But what we notice is that sometimes it's missing some areas. And also sometimes we might want these regions to be a bit bigger to encompass the entire response area. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all these regions and show you guys how to do it by hand. So the first question is write 2 multiplication sentences for each array. So here's where students are putting in their answers. And what you'll notice is that Skies already is grouping things together. So we want to look for 4 times 2 and 2 times 4. These are all correct. 4 times 2 and 8 times 1 I'm not going to accept as correct because 8 times 1 isn't really what's represented in this array. But here, these are correct. So I'm going to say all of these are correct. Everything else left over, I'm going to say is wrong. Click away from it. And let's do the same thing with the next region. Again, 3 times 5, 5 times 3 I'm going to accept. But nothing else. Everything else I'm going to say is wrong. And you can see that Skies is already keeping track of how the class as a whole is doing. 77% got the first question correct. 68% got the second question correct. This is already useful information to get. Okay, the next part is identifying patterns. Let's look. It should be 15 and 10, 15 and 10, 15 and 10, 15 and 10. All these are correct. Everything else is wrong. Let's look at patterns. What's the pattern here? Everything's going down by 5. So 14 students just said subtract 5 and they all get it correct. I'm not going to count spelling against them. Everything here is correct. Everything else is wrong. So you can just keep doing this. Again, 10 and 6, these are all correct. Everything else, wrong. Let's do the pattern for this one. It looks like the answer is subtract 2. Again, usually the majority rules here. I'm going to go ahead and change it up by selecting the wrong answers. You can also do that. Select the 2 that are wrong. Mark these as wrong and mark everything else as correct. Students are doing pretty well here. I'm going to go ahead and do the last pattern. Let's see, 25. It looks like it's going down by 10. So 25, 15, 5. 25, 15, 5. These are all correct. Everything else is wrong. And then the last pattern here, again, this is subtract 10. Subtract 10, subtract 10, subtract 10. All these are correct. Everything else is wrong. Now we have some drawing. We want to put things into groups. So here we can see we have 12. We have 12 things, and we're trying to put it into 6 and 6. So grouping helps a little bit. Let's go ahead and look for things that are wrong. Okay, this is wrong because it's 12 and 12. This is wrong because there's nothing and nothing. Here there's 12 and 12, and here the student put all 12 into one and 0 in the other. Everything else looks correct. So I'm going to mark these as wrong and mark everything else as right. And we're going to do the same with this one, where you have 9 dots and you're trying to group them into 3, 3, and 3. Again, I'm going to look for wrong responses. This is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Everything else I see 3, 3, and 3, 4. So I'm going to say these are wrong. Everything else is right. This is actually pretty fun. Okay, let's go to the last two questions. These are number sentences. And the correct answer is 15 minus 9 equals 6. I'm going to accept anyone who wrote 15 minus 9 and the correct answer as correct. Sadly, they put the right number sentence, but they have the wrong answer. So sadly, all of these are going to be marked as incorrect. Again, we want to have a subtraction sentence. 21 minus 2 pencils minus 2 pencils. This is correct. This is correct as well. This is correct. Everything else, either the wrong number sentence or the wrong answer. So I'm going to mark that as incorrect. Okay, that's it. So we've graded everything. Now we need to do two more things. One, we need to map it onto the correct 0 to 4 scale. So in elementary, we'd like to put things on a 0 to 4 scale. And this helpfully shows the grade distribution. So everyone who got 12 or 11 points, let's go ahead and give those students a 4. Anyone who did better than, let's say 9 or 10 points, let's give those a 3. The 6s, 7s, and 8s, I think those get a 2. That's pretty good. And there's one student who really just didn't do too much, so we'll go ahead and give him or her a 1. Okay, now we've assigned our grades. The last thing we need to do is give feedback to our students. If I click auto feedback, it's going to go ahead and attach to each student response a card showing them what they got right and what they got wrong. Imagine how long this would take to do by hand. But Skies, because you've already graded everything, is automatically leaving feedback for each one of your students. Okay, we'll give it another few seconds. Now if we exit Worksheet Grader, we see the results. You see that Skies has already given everyone 1, 2, 3, or 4. And if you go down, you can see it's already told each student exactly what they missed. So this student, for example, you see they didn't put in one of the number sentences. You see here they were missing one of the patterns, and here they got the number sentence correct, but the answer wrong. And so this is very useful information for our students and their assessments. They can see exactly what they missed. So this took about 6, 7 minutes. And doing it one by hand would have taken much longer. So this saves time, and hope this is helpful for everyone.